I wasn't meant to be home that morning. It was one of those slow, gray Saturdays when even the sky seemed exhausted. I had stayed at my brother's place the night before after a long poker game. That hardly ever happened. Emily had texted me before I drifted off to sleep. "It's fine. Stay there, get some rest." Her message felt a little off, a little too relaxed, but we'd been married for 7 years. You don't start chasing every strange feeling in a marriage. You learn to overlook certain shadows. When I pulled into the driveway, the house looked exactly the way it always had. But the moment I opened the front door, something felt wrong. Nothing obvious, just the silence, the kind that seemed rehearsed, forced, as if the house was trying too hard to appear normal. Then came the smell. Not her perfume, not mine, but something warmer, faintly masculine. The way every muscle in my body tightened before my mind could even process the thought told me everything I needed to know, even though I wasn't ready to accept it. I called out her name. There was no reply. Her car was parked outside. Her shoes were by the door, but the living room didn't feel quite the same. The throw blanket had been folded differently. A wine glass rested in the sink, lipstick on the rim, a shade she never wore. It wasn't proof, but my instincts were already screaming. I slowly walked down the hallway. The bedroom door was slightly open and the bed was made almost too perfectly, but something was missing. Her phone charger. She never unplugged it. Not once. My chest grew tight. Just then, she stepped out of the kitchen with her hair tied back, wearing a hoodie I had never seen before. It definitely wasn't hers. "Oh," she said a little too fast. "You're back early." "Yeah," I replied, forcing a smile. "Thought I'd surprise you." That single word, surprise, felt like a crack tearing the room straight down the middle. She gave me a small, fragile smile. "That's nice." But her eyes refused to meet mine. She was thinking, calculating, deciding how much of the truth she could keep hidden. "You okay?" she asked. I could have lost my temper, could have yelled, could have demanded every answer, but I didn't. I simply said, "Yeah, just tired." And she knew that I knew. The way her shoulders stiffened gave everything away. The rest of the day felt like an act. She made coffee while I found something meaningless to repair in the garage. Every time her phone buzzed, she jumped. By noon, I knew exactly what I had to do. When she went to take a shower, I opened the laundry basket, and there it was. A wrinkled t-shirt. Too expensive, too stylish, and definitely not mine. And it smelled like the same scent I noticed the moment I walked inside. I didn't feel anger, not even heartbreak, only a cold, crushing weight settling deep into my bones. That night, she behaved as though nothing had happened. Then, while she believed I was asleep, I heard her whisper into her phone. "I can't tonight. He's here. No, tomorrow. I promise." The silence that followed felt like something had quietly died in that room. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted her to wake up inside the world she had destroyed. The next morning, I was already standing in the kitchen when she walked in. Her hair was still damp and her eyes looked exhausted. She leaned in to kiss my cheek. I let her. It meant absolutely nothing. "I found a shirt yesterday," I said, my voice calm. "It isn't mine." The color drained from her face as if someone had pulled it away with a straw. "What? You're... you're imagining things." "In the laundry," I said. "It smelled like someone else." She swallowed hard, her eyes beginning to shine. "It's not what you think." It never is. I stood up and walked toward the door. "Where are you going?" she whispered. "To think." I closed the door gently because there was no point in breaking something that was already shattered. I drove for hours. No radio, no destination, only empty roads and thoughts that were too painful to carry. I thought about the times we used to laugh, when she would reach for my hand without even thinking. I thought about the moment everything slowly began to change. The quiet sighs, the distant looks, and the unanswered questions I never had the courage to ask. By the time I stopped at the lake where we used to spend time together, I didn't feel hurt anymore, only numb. I scrolled through our old photos. We looked like two people who truly believed in forever. I deleted them one by one. When the screen finally went blank, something inside me faded with it. When I came home, she was sitting on the couch crying so hard she could barely catch her breath. "I made a mistake," she whispered. "It didn't mean anything. I was just lonely." "Lonely," I repeated. "You had someone." Her voice broke. "Please, please, we can fix this. I'll do anything." I looked at her. I really looked at her. This was the same woman who had lied directly to my face 2 nights earlier. Then, quietly, almost gently, I said, "That's the problem. You already did everything." I packed a small bag. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't slam a single door. I simply walked away. It's been 6 months now. People think betrayal happens the moment you discover the truth. It doesn't. It happens little by little, in the empty spaces where love was supposed to live. It happens when you realize you were carrying the relationship alone while the other person had already walked halfway out the door. I don't hate her. I don't care who he was. But I still remember that silent morning, the one where the air itself revealed the truth long before she ever did. You can rebuild after a fire, but not while the fire is still living inside the house.